It's become the Upper West Side's new normal. Moving trucks seem to be everywhere. United Van Line says the number of people looking to leave New York has nearly doubled year over year, and New Yorkers aren't bashful about telling you why.
Walking down Broadway, I was attacked by a homeless person, spit at, coughed on.
In fact, they've been documenting their city's decline in photos on Facebook ever since New York began moving thousands of people experiencing homelessness into dozens of hotels, 3 of them in this one affluent neighborhood alone, where residents are leaving, and businesses are too.
And this is what's going to happen if they keep destroying the stores and the businesses. There won't be a place to go buy milk or bread for our kids anymore. You know, it has to stop. It has to end.
How you doing, guys?
Bo Deedle has some thoughts about that.
I don't know. I feel for you, man.
The former NYPD detective walks the streets like the mayor of Midtown. He says he fears for the city he loves unless politicians start throwing more weight behind police.
There's guns all around us. We might be able to walk up to somebody right now who has a gun on them. Back in the 70s and 80s, at least the cops could do anything. Now the cops don't want to do nothing because they're afraid of losing their job.
Business leaders seem to agree. More than 150 of them wrote a letter to Mayor Bill de Blasio warning he has to do more to address crime and quality of life here, or they're leaving, like so many already have. Restaurants closed for good, tourism devastated by COVID, even religious institutions are struggling. Iconic St. Patrick's Cathedral says the pandemic has blown a $4 million hole in its budget. Charities fight to keep up with the need in a city that estimates 2 million people are struggling just to get enough to eat.
Basically reactivated our relief fund for the 3rd time. First time was 9/11. and then Hurricane Sandy, and now COVID-19. And that meant that we called upon all of our best partners and relationships, donors, corporations, and said, look, we need to act quickly.
I don't want to see anyone suffer. We have been fighting to bring this city back.
Among the most significant and visible impact of the COVID pandemic on the New York economy, Broadway closed first through the summer, now through the year.
I think the pain is in seeing our colleagues unemployed, all of us unemployed.
Jitney, now play.
Eric Falkenstein is a Broadway veteran behind productions like Jitney and Bridge and Tunnel, now sidelined, like so many others, as an industry that grossed $1.8 billion last year waits this out.
You can't count up the number of days in the last century that Broadway has been shut down by something like a hurricane or a war, anything else that add up to what we've lost already.
TAMAR Green plays George Washington in the Broadway production of Hamilton. For young performers like him, the implications of a long COVID-induced layoff are more than a little terrifying.
And you're like left with like nothing. Everything stopped. All your income stopped, all your passion stopped. And so you're like, I'm literally just existing with no income, no nothing, everything I've worked so hard for all these years, and it's all gone.
First of all, New York City is a great American city.
But it can't all be doom and gloom, can it? Even with dueling op-eds in the major papers, one writing the city's obituary, the other a rebuttal written by Jerry Seinfeld, no less, predicting a Phoenix-like rise.
It has a diversity of people and has a diversity of business, from finance, real estate, fashion, media. It's all here.
No question, people are leaving. Manhattan vacancies just hit a 14-year high. But realtors insist New York is a long way from dead.
I always say, if you're going to bet on New York, if you're going to bet against New York, you're always going to lose.
In New York, Tom Negovan, NewsNation.